Why is ASMR basically taking over the internet? So today we are diving into a phenomenon that actually started out as pretty fringe, but that's now so popular it's got celebrities involved. If you've ever felt tingles down your spine, listening to certain sounds like whispering, brushing, or tapping, you might have experienced ASMR, Autonomous Sensory Meridian Response. But what's actually happening in your brain and in your body? Like, why does it feel so amazing for some people? Is there actually science to it? Let's jump in. So the term ASMR was actually coined in 2010 by Jennifer Allen, and it describes a really nice tingling sensation that starts maybe in your scalp and travels down your spine. This tingling is triggered by specific audio or visual stimuli. So I gave some examples of sounds earlier, but as for the visuals, these can be methodical or up-close hand movements. Many viewers will use ASMR videos to help them relax, fall asleep, or cope with anxiety. It's even being explored as a non-drug intervention for anxiety, especially in people who are sensitive to these kinds of sounds. Because not everybody can experience ASMR. Conservative estimates put us at around 20% for people who are reporting the classic tingles. For others, those sounds or visuals might be kind of just okay, pleasant. They could be boring, or they could be a little uncomfortable. Now, we don't exactly know why certain people can experience ASMR and others can't. Being a molecular geneticist, I'm obviously going to suggest genetics as the contributing factor, but nothing's been confirmed. Interestingly, people who can experience ASMR tend to be more open to new experiences, and they score higher on measures of empathy. Now, really trying to get to the root of why it feels good, some theories suggest that it could be tied to social touch. That's the comfort that we might feel from being cared for. So imagine a parent playing with or brushing a child's hair. ASMR might be mimicking or simulating that sort of safe, gentle social interaction. But what's going on inside the brain? Early fMRI studies, so these are just fancy brain scans, they've implicated parts of the brain that are involved in social bonding and reward. And remember that your reward system is the part of the brain that makes you feel good when you eat something that you really like, see somebody that you love, or maybe you take a drug that makes you feel a little too good. So to name names and call out specific regions of the brain that lit up during this fMRI study, you have parts like the medial prefrontal cortex, which drives elements of social cognition. The nucleus accumbens is stimulated as well. That is a reward hotspot. If you have heard of dopamine, that's where it's getting dumped. Finally, you have the insula, which is involved in emotional processing and empathy. Now, these descriptions are super simplified. Okay, each region that I just mentioned is very complex, very multifaceted, but just consider these summaries. It is important to note that the way ASMR affects the brain, that is still very much an active area of research, but it seems like the effects of ASMR on the body are very real. One 2018 study even found that people experiencing ASMR showed reductions in heart rate, and so that suggests a legitimate calming effect. There's also neurophysiological overlap in the brain between people who experience chills from a moving piece of music or maybe a powerful speech and people experiencing ASMR. However, when you hear people actually describe the physical sensation associated with each phenomenon, it's clear that there are differences between them. We do want to keep in mind, though, that the research on ASMR is still very young, so there's no large-scale clinical evidence that ASMR can cure anything. But many people do report genuine relief, comparable in some ways to mindfulness or meditation. Still, big questions remain, so we want to know why the sensory triggers differ so much from individual to individual. We want to know how long the effects of ASMR will actually last in a person. And importantly, we want to know if ASMR could actually help to improve conditions like chronic pain or different mental health disorders. Definitely going to need more studies to answer those questions. The science might still be a little bit incomplete, but one thing is clear, ASMR is here to stay. Have you ever experienced ASMR? If so, and you have a favorite trigger, let us know in the comments. And as always, if you learned something, share this video with a friend.